A few ways we can get back our self-focus is, first of all, to make sure that we decide that we want it. It's to say enough is enough and call time on looking what everyone else is doing, but at the same time letting the food get cold on our plate while we're looking at what other people are eating. Is really important to decide that it's enough. Enough is enough. Hi, it's Sheridan, the comparison coach. I'm so glad that you're here. This one's really close to my heart. If there's something that comparison takes from me when I'm feeling comparison, it is my self-focus. I don't know if you can relate, but when I'm comparing myself to other people, I'm looking at what they're doing, how they're living their life, the choices they're making, the holidays they're going on, the development they're experiencing, whatever the heck it is. And ultimately what I'm doing is looking outside myself, and I'm not looking at what I want. I'm not looking at what my dream is. I'm not looking at what my path can be and my resources and the choices I can make in order to get there. Self-focus is such a valued and beautiful jewel for us to make sure that we possess, because it's just so easy to ignore what we want, because it's easier to look at the grass being greener in someone else's life. So I wanted to share and riff with you a little bit on how to know if maybe your self-focus is creeping away from you, but equally about how to get that back and those next steps to really kind of call back your power and get back your self-focus. So if some of the telltale signs that maybe your self-focus isn't where it could be that you do find yourself comparing yourself to other people, and do find yourself looking at other people's news feeds and social media posts a lot more, and rather than thinking like, that's kind of inspiring, I wonder what I want to do, that you're thinking, oh gosh, how am I even going to get started, look how far ahead they are. So rather looking at what your next steps are. Another telltale sign, that your self-focus could use a little bit of work is you find yourself procrastinating. You either don't take the time to find out what your next right step is, or you know what your next right step is, and yet you don't take it. You don't Google the information that you know is missing and that you need to know. You don't send the email to that person to reach out and ask them for help. You don't ask that person on a date because you're procrastinating, you're putting it off, you're making sure you're prioritizing other things that ultimately aren't going to be that significant for you. And that is a killer when it comes to achieving our dreams. Now, a few ways we can get back our self-focus is, first of all, to make sure that we decide that we want it. It's to say enough is enough and call time on looking what everyone else is doing, but at the same time letting the food get cold on our plate while we're looking at what other people are eating. Is really important to decide that it's enough. Enough is enough. What I'd say as well is really important when it comes to self-focus is to start small. Look for that next right step that you can take in the service of you and your dream. Don't get too attached to having to get everything 100% perfect, but look at making those next right steps for yourself that are going to make all the difference. So, for example, you want to improve your wellness, you're feeling a bit sluggish, you want to get back to the gym. Well, one of the best things you can do in favour of your self-focus and in favour of you and your dream is to make sure that you look at it down and think, well, hold on, how am I going to get to the gym if I'm like out of the pub 5 nights a week, or I'm going, I've got like crazy work hours? How can you get that time in your diary to make the moves that you need to get back that self-focus on what's important to you? What I'd say is important as well to remember is to go at your own pace too. Comparison and procrastination can be really tricky, and they can almost like a fog, difficult to get through, difficult to get out the other side of unless you stay committed. So be really, really clear on where you want to get to, and be committed to making decisions in favour of you and what you want as well. And your comparison is not going to be able to keep its greasy hands on you, because you'll be getting on the other side of that fog and staying self-focused and actually celebrating what other people are doing too. So thanks so much for joining in today. If you have experienced your self-focus like going down the drain, be really conscious of the role that comparison and procrastination might be playing in your life, and just take a little bit of an audit about some of the improvements you can make to allow it to call back. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.